Hey guys, what's up? TNA Against All Odds just ended. Few thoughts, and by a few I mean a couple of pages. So yes, once again we are taking a break from the road signs, my Road to WrestleMania video series. So if you're not a TNA fan, turn it off now. Alright, get right into the show. The show immediately opens up with Taz and Mike Tenay talking about the X Division title number one contenders triple threat match being canceled because the Bucks are unavailable due to travel issues and whatnot and whatever. So of course Robbie E is the winner by default. Robbie E goes to the ring. I can't stand him. I don't get the whole Jersey Shore thing. My other people in my house, I'll just say that, watch it, and I don't get it. I don't know why they felt the need to make a Jersey Shore character, let alone two, in TNA. But Robbie E goes to the ring and blabs for a while, gets the referee to administer a fake 10 count to signify that he has won the match, which was fucking ridiculous. And of course, he's interrupted by Kaz, who announces that he will be, in fact, defending the X Division title against Robbie E right now. Quickly takes him to the ring. There's a bunch of back and forth, shots and kicks and whatnot. And the back and forth is broken up by a clothesline and a gut wrench by Kaz. Cookie tries to get involved on the outside and fails. Robbie hangs over the top rope and is kicked off and is taken to the outside. Kaz eats the steps and then gets speared into the corner. And I think, okay, they don't really do psychology in the X Division matches. It's very, very spot. But I'm thinking, okay, if he's got him in the steps, he's got him speared in the corner, he's going to work. The torso, maybe not. The crowd is ridiculously loud for Kaz in this. The crowd was the loudest for any one particular person in this match, in the show. I don't, it's not something I usually comment on, but it was very, very obvious. After that, Robbie gets him up for a really, really odd looking neck breaker, and this is about where it hits me that it's not really a very X Division-ish match, because it's moving very, very slowly, and everything that's happening is, I guess, meant to make Robbie E look powerful and strong and whatever, but in the end, all it really does is make him look like an asshole and make Kaz look like he's having a really, really slow night. Robbie E locks in a chin lock and showboats for a while. Kaz gets him with a springing drop kick and a springing leg drop. Tries for the inverted tombstone pile driver that he did. It gets countered, and there's multiple pin attempts back and forth, like reversal. He does eventually hit that inverted pile driver, and it ends the match, and Taz, at some point in Kaz's celebrating, lets us all know that inverted tombstone pile driver thing that Kaz does is called the Fade to Black, which some people might think is a lame name for a move, but if you look at Kaz's tights and you look at the Kaz logo and how it's made up to so much look like a Metallica logo, it's ridiculous. Calling it the Fade to Black, it suits. I can accept it. Kaz wins. I'm a happy kid. Only problem with this means by them making Robbie E the number one contender for the X Division Championship by default tells me that if the triple threat match had happened, that Robbie E was going to win the triple threat match. And I don't want to see him go over, especially against a tag team by himself, because Robbie E is not that entertaining. He does not need to go over that strong. Speaking of stuff that does not need to go over or doesn't need to happen at all, really, we have the 6-man tag match. Stiener and Beer Money versus Gunner, Murphey, and Rob Terry. I don't like that they set this up. If they wanted to have a big guy match, they could have just had Rob Terry and Stiener on, like, Impact, or not even Impact. I did want to see Beer Money versus Gunner and Murphy, but that's about it. They're interviewing Beer Money in the back, and, okay, we all know, Robert Roode is the intense one, and James Storm is kind of the one that's sitting back having a brew before the match, but Scott Steiner is back there, and he's wasted off his ass. I think they did that to excuse the fact that he can't do a good promo, to save his life. He is wasted, and it sort of excuses that he can't do a good promo, but all of us that have watched Scott Steiner over the years are like, yeah, he can't do a good promo sober, so that was really just a waste of time. Anyways, AJ Styles joins them on commentary, and this is what I want to say about this. If they were still an Immortal, AJ Styles being on commentary would have definitely impacted the match at some point. Now that they're faces, it didn't happen. There were, back in the day, you used to have guys come out randomly to help out with the commentary, and it didn't always end up with some BS involving in the match. Sometimes you just had a guy that was guest commentating, and it was cool to have that back again, whatever. Now, friggin' Scott Steiner comes out, Beer Money comes out, Beer Money gets the average pop that they get. Gunner, Murphy, and Rob Terry come out, and Gunner and Murphy finally have wrestling gear. They're not coming out in the TNA security uniform anymore, which is cool. But it made me think of something. Now, Gunner and Murphy were basically TNA security, and Rob Terry was hired to be Hogan and Bischoff and Flair's bodyguard. So now you basically have hired help going up against the greatest team, one of the greatest teams in TNA, and one of the, greater names of wrestling in general. So how much stock do you really put in this team of Gunner and Murphy and Terry if they're, they fall into the same category as your Gardner? Now, Steiner goes in. Steiner starts off the match. He takes out Gunner, he takes out Murphy, and him and Rob Terry have a pose-off for a couple of seconds until Rob Terry shoots him in the nuts. Murphy then comes in, and Storm comes in, and there's nothing but typical, bland, rudimentary back-and-forth stuff until they get Storm into their corner, and there's some triple teaming and whatever, and then Rob Terry comes in and pounds the shit out of Storm, because Rob Terry is a brick shithouse. Storm goes over to Rude. Rude gets the hot tag. Rude clears house. Top rope neckbreaker for Rude, from Rude to Gunner, sorry. Beer Money suplexes Rob Terry. Rude comes in with spinebusters for all and brings in Steiner to hit the Frankensteiner for the win. Steiner spent about 2 minutes in this match at the beginning and got the win. The rest of it was all Beer Money, which sucks because they're basically making him look good when they, are the ones carrying the match. The other three, Rob Terry's cool, but they've got him in a douchebag role. These other two guys with the security guard thing, I don't know. Anyways, that is page 1. No, still not getting it in, guys, if anybody's still paying attention. We go to the back and we talk to Devon about the match with Bubba Ray for later on, and he says by no stretch of the imagination will his kids be involved in the match. So in the back of your head, you're like, so his kids are definitely going to be involved in the match. But we go to Joe and Pope. I said in my preview that I didn't expect much from this match because they hadn't really built it up that much. That doesn't mean I don't have respect for these two guys. And the one thing I have to say that has nothing to do with the match at all, I love Pope's entrance. As long as Pope is a heel, Pope's entrance makes so much sense. It has so much bravado and arrogance and all the money and all that, look at me, and da-da-da-da, the token, pimp or whatever you want to call it, music in the background. Whatever. Joe comes in, Pope starts taking the long lap, and by the long lap, I mean when your opponent comes to the ring and you jump out of the ring and start walking around the ring trying to waste time and whatever. I don't know what I wrote there, but anyway. Pope gets, I write really fast when I do these things. That's how I end up with 6 pages of shit to talk about. So come back not even an hour after the show's over, I can't read my own writing. So I'm sorry for that, because if what I can't read right now is something that was really, really important, you're not going to get it, because I don't get it. But anyways, Pope makes his way back into the ring, gets an immediate headlock from Joe. Really, Joe gives somebody a headlock, and there's a lot of people out there that bad talk and say headlocks and chin locks and all that shit are boring and they delay the match or whatever. But if Joe locks on a headlock on you, I'm pretty convinced that the guy wants to rip the other person's head off. But whatever. So he gets him in the headlock for a couple seconds, and Pope says fuck this and leaves and tries to go up and leave the arena. But Joe's photographer guy, I don't even get why his character's there. blocks him from leaving the arena, and pushes him back towards the ring, where Joe hits him with a suicide elbow from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring. Pope hits a nice suplex on Joe. Joe bulldozes back, owns Pope in 3 corners, kicking and punching and splashing and stuff like that into one corner, and then taking him to another corner and doing the same, and grinding him down, and taking him to another corner and doing the same again. An eye rake and a knee and a backdrop to Joe out of the ring. They come back in, they start trading punches, and he takes down Joe with a decent clothesline. Mounted punches on Joe and a neck breaker on Joe after a backslide. Joe comes back in with an inverted atomic drop, and a kick, and a splash, and a power slam, and all in the space of a couple of seconds. So it's a very quick, atomic drop, kick, splash, power slam in a row, in succession. And it's very, very dramatic, but Pope gets a high knee to Joe. Joe is down. Pope exposes the corner. Pope tries a roll up. Joe reverses into a chokehold, and when Joe gets this chokehold on, I mean, he's about here as far as getting it in, and Pope just taps. Pope taps before it's even locked in, making him look like a little bitch, kind of, but he stands up, and he's all happy for himself because the match is now over, so theoretically Joe can't hurt him anymore because the match is over. So he's got this, shit-eating grin on his face, and he starts clapping and whatever, and we think he's being all arrogant, and of course he goes and he tries to shake Joe's hand, and Joe doesn't take it, and doesn't take it, and doesn't take it, and then he kind of sort of gives him a half-ass slap to the hand, and he gives him an uppercut, tosses him into the turnbuckle that was exposed, gives him the D'Angelo De Niro, I don't know, what the hell does he call it? The D'Angelo, I can speak, I swear, the D'Angelo De Niro Express, which is the double knees to the back while he's up against the exposed turnbuckle. A few good sequences in this match, especially from Joe. There wasn't any real excitement, but the way Joe acted in the match, like getting in all his punches and running away, and getting in all his punches and running away, just in general being an arrogant prick, combined with the way he didn't win, but the way he got away, it boosts him as a heel. If he was a face, it wouldn't make any sense at all. But the BS and the mannerisms and all the little things, like, I'm going to take a walk around the ring, and I'm going to try and get in the ring. Okay, he's got me in a headlock, I'm going to leave again, and I'm going to bail. Now, does it give his character much credibility? No, but it gives his heel status credibility. And, like I said, there was a fairly decent amount of good stuff from Joe, especially in how the sequences were put together. So I have no problem calling this a good match. Like I say, nothing incredibly special, but we're only on the second match of the night, aren't we? Can I get it in? I actually got one in. If I could dismount the camera, I would actually show you, because that's kind of exciting. The last lady standing match. I said in my video that I didn't necessarily think this would be good, but I think it's good what they do with their ladies division as far as not being shy about the women doing the hardcore matches like the men. Now, people can agree or disagree. Madison tries to take a shot with the glove right away, which leads to some outside brawling, and Mickie eating both sets of stairs. Get back in the ring, and there's multiple, I don't know what you want to call it. The big story is the loaded glove, which I still don't buy because there's nothing I see in it that's loaded. It just looks like a big-ass padded glove that they got purposely too big for her so that it would stand out. But there's a whole bunch of, I'm gonna get the punch now, and, like, if you tried that in a real fight, you'd be dead already. Madison tries to do the walkout, and we all know what I think about that. Mickie takes Madison, and they brawl halfway up the ramp, against the rails, against the rampway, against the ring, etc., etc., etc. Mickie takes Madison's head into the post. Madison does, I don't know what to call it, but she got her back in the ring and rolled her up and basically brought her knees up into the chin. So I guess you would call it a stunner with the knees. I don't know. I'm going to call it a rolling knee stunner. That is what it's called from now on, seeing as we're TNA is naming moves tonight, so we're going to call that the rolling knee stunner. They start the cat fighting, hair pulling bullshit on the apron as Madison drops over the top rope. Running apron clothesline by Mickie James, and then they both chase each other from one end of underneath the ring to the other. Now, said it before, said it a long while ago. I don't like the under the ring shit, even if there is a reason for it. This had no reason for it. Went in one side, went out the other side, and just continued on. Mickie got a kick in, back in the ring. Madison tosses Mickie from the corner, and they're back outside again. An inside out armbreaker to Madison. Top rope Thesz press and a sidekick from Mickie take down Madison Rayne. She takes the glove off of Madison Rayne and puts it on herself. But of course, Tara comes out, distracts Mickie. Mickie gets her knucks out, and Madison wins. She comes out, distracts Mickie James. Madison gets her knocks out. Hits her with the brass knucks. Madison wins the match. Now, my question is a little bit of consistency issue here. It's a no disqualification match. Why did we need a distraction so that Mickie James could get her brass knucks out? Because she wouldn't have been disqualified. Anyway, now they cut to Jeff Hardy, who does a rather random I'm an Antichrist, Anderson's an asshole promo and whatever. But he's sitting there in the dark, he's putting his makeup on, and he's kind of sitting back there, and he kind of, I don't want to say he sounds high, but he doesn't sound like he's quite there, and it made me think back to the old school Raven promos from WCW when he would be in there with the flock, and the rest of the flock would be standing all over the ring, and he would just be slumped in the one corner, saying whatever he had to say, and not really giving a shit. So it makes you wonder, is Jeff Hardy trying to be Raven? Which I don't think he needs to be, because Jeff Hardy can be Jeff Hardy, and that's good enough for most of us. Now, Morgan called out Hernandez, because Hernandez attacked him, like, on Impact last week or the week before or whatever. Here's what I don't get. Don't do your little story building shit on a pay-per-view. Do it on Impact, and then have your match on a pay-per-view. Because now they did all this story building bullshit, and I'll bet you next Thursday on Impact they're going to have a match. Morgan calls out Hernandez, to say, why the fuck did you cost me the title match on Impact, whatever. Hernandez comes out with this incredibly racist-ass promo, because apparently he's been wrestling in Mexico for a year. I didn't know that. I don't follow other leagues. I'm sorry. I'm not educated that way. But comes in and says how all the Mexicans are planning to take over America and all the white people are going to have to get out. And it's like, really? 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 Morgan goes to respond to him. He gets a shot in the nuts. He gets tackled into the corner. And then Hernandez hits him with what I'm going to call an FU. Because it basically was an FU, like John Cena does, except a whole hell of a lot better and more convincing. So, I'm thinking, obviously they're going to have another Morgan and Hernandez rivalry, which is okay with me. I don't think Morgan and Hernandez are going to have any kind of decent rivalry, because it's just two big guys, but what it means for me, selfishly, is they're going to take Morgan out of the title picture for a while. Maybe boost up RVD again, which would be awesome. Can I get two? Not that lucky. Next we got Matt Hardy and RVD. Now, Matt Hardy says in a promo that he is now going to be called Cold-Blooded Matt Hardy. Is it lame? Absolutely. But in his explanation, he takes a really, really nice, decent shot at WWE, which I thought was amazing, because his whole thing about being cold-blooded was, my brother left and came to TNA, and it was the best thing he ever did, and I decided to stay at the company where I was to be a nice guy, and I got all the flack for it. And it makes sense, because it's probably true, and it's a way to take a shot at WWE without saying, hey, we're taking a shot at WWE. Now, they go, so I thought that was awesome. As a promo, as an idea in general, I thought it was good. It stirs the pot a little bit between TNA and WWE, and we'll go from there. They come in, they're both trading punches. Hardy is down. Snake Eyes and a clothesline gets the upper hand on RVD, and he gets pounded down in the corner. Who comes back? RVD comes back with a dropkick. Hardy is kicked to the outside and takes RVD's face to the apron. Hardy owns him outside the ring. RVD hits the twist kick on the rail, where he's sort of hung over the rail, and RVD comes off the apron and does the kick thing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Matt Hardy hits the suspension DDT on RVD, a la Randy Orton, sort of hang his feet up on the ropes and then give him that short little dropping DDT, and then takes RVD's face to the rail on the outside. Back in, repeated elbow blows to the back of RVD's head, just sort of holding him down in 1, 2, and it went on for quite a bit. So that if it was real, it would probably just fuck him right up, and then takes him down to the mat where he locks in a full body submission move. I have no idea what it's called because I've never seen it before. That alone is enough for me to like it. Basically, RVD was sat there on the mat, Matt Hardy facing him, full leg vine around the torso, arms locked behind him, head locked sort of in a DDT position, so that no extremity of RVD could move at all. Like I say, is it going to win the match? Probably not. Is it the most exciting part of the match even? No. But you know what? I've never seen it before, and it was pretty, like I say, if it was real, the guy wouldn't be able to do a damn thing. So, that's that. RVD gets hung over the ropes, full Nelson, and by this point, I'm starting to realize slowly it's not the greatest bit of ring psychology in the world, but everything that Matt Hardy had done to this point had all focused on the neck and back of RVD. So he gets him in a full Nelson, and another full Nelson, another full Nelson, and then into a nice neck breaker, and then a nice tight headlock. RVD misses a kick and hung over the ropes again. RVD hits a side kick on Hardy. Back to trading punches and a nice... Yeah, what the hell did I write there? Again. Back to trading punches and a nice RVD clothesline, moonsault, kick to the face, split-legged moonsault. All, again, much like with the Samoa Joe stuff in the previous match, it was just a rapid succession of moves that were clothesline, moonsault, kick to the face, split leg, and Matt Hardy comes back with a side effect. Tries to take the little bit of impact that the side effect got into a twist of fate, but it is kicked back. Hardy backdrops RVD from the top rope. Hardy misses the moonsault entirely. RVD, on the other hand, hits the 5-star frog splash and wins the match. I have to say it, this was not the 5-star match of all time. This match did pleasantly surprise me, though. I have done a whole lot of bashing of Matt Hardy as an individual wrestler, saying that, Jeff Hardy is up here, the Hardy Boys as a team are up here, and Matt Hardy's way down here. RVD probably could have shown more in this match, and it wouldn't have taken away from Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy showed a lot more in this match than I expected him to. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, the full body submission thing alone, like I say, more than anything else, because it's something I've personally never seen, which always gets points with me. And that's the end of that. I'm not even going to look. There we go. We have Bully Ray and Brother Devon. Bully Ray comes down and then goes in behind the staging again, so you think, okay, he's going to jump him when he comes out. No, he waits till he goes in behind Brother Devon and waits till Devon gets to the ring and then tries to jump from behind. Doesn't really work. Devon owns Bubba Ray in typical random big guy brawling fashion, brawling in the aisleway, brawling on the steps and the rails and hitting the posts and whatever. Owns him for a good amount of time where Bubba Ray just looks like a fat punching bag. He's even got his head in the chair, ready to stomp the chair when the sons come out to help. So Devon, of course, says to his sons, go back, you're not supposed to be here. And then Bully Ray gets his chair shot in on Devon, takes him out. Consistency is not even a factor here. He's been, had the shit kicked out of him for a good 5 minutes at this point, and one chair shot takes out Devon. Don't really get it. He spits on the sons, who are standing at ringside. Devon puts Devon's head in the chair. The sons try to help. Bubba Ray threatens the kids. Devon comes back with a back body drop. The sons start hitting Bully Ray with a can. The three of them, the two sons and Devon, do a triple team what's up on him with the headbutt thing. Ray hits a low blow on Devon and cuffs him to the ring post. The older son comes back and attacks Bully Ray and fails. Ray pins one of the sons after beating him a little bit and wins the match. Now he's yelling at Devon, telling him he's a loser, telling him he's weak, and da-da-da-da-da. And instead of beating on him some more, he goes and beats up on one of the sons. Now, here's where I don't get the TNA crowd. Right here. Instead of beating on Devon, he picks up one of the sons and puts the son through the table, which is, all big and emotional and whatever and whatever. Now, the crowd that has been booing Bully Ray from the minute this match started until now starts chanting one more time. So, yeah. Now, after this match was over, they spent way too much time on, getting Devon out of the cuffs, getting the brothers out of the ring, getting one of the brothers onto a backboard with a stretcher and a neck brace and whatever. They spent a good 5, 7, 8, 9 minutes on that alone. And in a match that, all hardcore matches are serious, but all hardcore matches have a silly aspect to them at some point. Now, to go from a hardcore match like that nobody really wanted to see in the first place, and all of a sudden at the end try to pour on all this emotional crap doesn't work. It's not consistent. That's all I'm going to say. The match itself was shit. The match was Bully Ray being a punching bag for 5 or 10 minutes, and some family drama at the end. Could have done without it. Now, speaking of things we could do without, we have Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle. Angle comes in. They both come down. Karen Angle's there. She's screeching and hollering and being very much the TNA Vicky Guerrero again. Angle comes in with a headlock takeover. Jarrett tries a side headlock and gets it and loses it. And Angle offers him his head again, being arrogant, saying, "Here, come on, put me in a headlock." Does it again, gets out. Does it again, gets out. Then there's a back suplex on Jarrett. Hammerlock into a snapmare, into another hammerlock by Angle. Angle rides the hammerlock for quite a while. Angle hits a slip, a hip toss, a suplex, and a pin attempt. Beats down Jeff Jarrett in the corner and on the outside. Karen slaps Angle, and they go back in the ring. Multiple pins are attempted by both of them. Back into the corner again for more corner-mounted beatings. This was the theme of the night. Get somebody in the corner and beat the shit out of them, I think. I don't know. Jarrett takes Angle outside and slams him from ring apron to ring post to guardrail and finally gets a little bit of a breather. Jarrett tries a crossbody, top rope crossbody. Angle reverses into another pin attempt. Angle hits his running, grab the guy from the top rope and suplex him all the way back. Superplex. And they begin brawling from the knees and eventually get back up. Angle clothesline and a belly-to-belly suplex and a roll into the ankle lock attempt. Ankle lock is broken. 3 belly-to-back suplexes by Angle in succession, a la Chris Benoit, and then, which is broken up by an enziguri by Jeff Jarrett. Incidentally, when this happened, I knew exactly what it was called. I have no idea how to spell enziguri. So I tried. It's probably wrong. But anybody that actually knows how to spell enziguri properly, please let me know. The stroke is countered into an ankle lock and then an angle slam, which the pin for which cannot be counted because Karen conveniently distracts the ref. Jeff Jarrett hits a low blow on Angle and hits the stroke into a near fall, and Angle tosses Jeff Jarrett into the ref. Ref bumps abound, do they not? I hit my stereo, that's just sad. Karen follows Angle to the outside, rakes him across the back. Jeff tosses Angle into the steps. They come back into the ring. Jeff Jarrett's about to hit Angle with the chair, but instead he pretends that he's been hit by the chair and hands Angle the chair. Now, Jeff Jarrett then tries a roll-up, which fails, and a stroke from the second rope, which looked very, very oh-so sloppy. It basically looked like he carried him up the ropes and then they both fell off. Belly to back suplex by Angle, ankle lock, Jeff taps, and the ref misses it because of Karen again. Chair shot by Jeff Jarrett, and a pinfall attempt goes crazy because he still kicks out. huge "You tapped out" chant from the crowd, directed at Jeff Jarrett at this point in time. Angle goes for the ankle lock, and I can't even explain how this happened. Angle went for an ankle lock. Jarrett basically sat down against the pressure and pinned Angle in an ending that just made you go, what the fuck just happened? And once again, Angle in the middle of the ring by himself, trying to be all emotional and shit and overselling. And then they did another weird thing. He unlaced his shoes and left them in the ring and left in his bright white Kurt Angle socks. And Taz tried to say, oh, this is a big significant thing because it's a symbol that he's leaving wrestling, and it's like, awesome, how many times has Angle quit now? And then Taz was overselling a bit, unless it's actually true, but I doubt it. The match itself was awesome. The match was all Angle. So I won't say the match was awesome, I'll say Angle was awesome in an okay match, because Jeff Jarrett did, what did he do? He did like 3 headlocks, 2 strokes, and a chair shot, and a crossbody that failed. Angle was awesome in this. Angle was awesome in carrying this match to even being called good. So, yeah, I don't know. So now he's got to walk Karen Angle up the aisle when Karen and Jeff renew their vows in a couple weeks. Ooh. And he doesn't have his kids, and Devon doesn't have his kids because they're broken, and isn't there so much family drama in TNA? Oh my, oh my. Now we have the ladder match for the world title, Jeff Hardy and Anderson. There we go. I almost called him Kennedy, which would have been wrong, and somebody would have sued me, I'm sure. Now, coming to the ring, Jeff Hardy brought out his painted neon ladder that he had on Impact on Thursday. Now, you might say this is really corny, really tacky, really arrogant, whatever, but A, they're trying to promote him as a heel, so of course he's going to be arrogant. B, it works because it solidifies it, or it pays attention to the reputation that Jeff Hardy and ladders have had over the years. One of the things that Taz said in the course of this match at one point was Jeff Hardy made ladder matches famous, and ladder matches made Jeff Hardy famous, and it's really true. It's a two-way thing. But he comes out, and even in the Hardy does a really, really good job of selling his confidence. And I don't mean his confidence like as a person, whatever. I mean, the whole point of this match was that it was, it was a ladder match, and it's Hardy's realm, it's Hardy's world type thing. And he sat there, and he was basically lounged out on the ring ropes, even when he was being announced, even when he was coming out, even when he was dragging the ladder behind him. He looked, relaxed. He looked casual, almost, in a surrounding where you're like, oh my god, you're going to be hit with this and this and this. How can you be so casual? And it's just like, yeah, I've been there, done that, type of thing. And it was so natural coming from Hardy, because he has been there and done that, and done the ladder match thing to death. And I think that his attitude representing that and selling that was very, very good. They start off in the ring, trading punches. He sets up his ladder outside next to the regular looking ladder, so whatever. They start trading hands in the ring. Hardy bails, fighting in the aisle, fighting between the ladders, fighting against the guardrails and everything all the way up the ramp. And they pick up one of the ladders, and there's a tug of war, and Hardy has the end with the feet on it, so it's not a flat surface. It's actually sort of the flat piece and then the feet. So when Anderson pushes the ladder into him, he basically staples Hardy into the ring using the ladder and kind of has him pinned. They drop the ladder, he gets thrown into the steps. Immediately, the ladder itself is brought into the ring. Hardy goes into the ring and brings Anderson into the ring, but the way he brings Anderson into the ring is very much the way Matt Hardy did, with the whole suspension a la Randy Orton, against the hanging his feet up against the ropes, except instead of a DDT, he twists him and has him in a twist of fate from the ropes headfirst into the ladder, which I thought was kind of cool and looked really, really effective. They both come back inside. Hardy climbs the ladder, and he's stopped by Anderson. Anderson climbs the ladder. He's stopped by Hardy. Double boots to Anderson in the corner. A ladder. Double boots to Anderson in the corner. Put Anderson on his ass in the corner. And Hardy then proceeds to kick the head of the ladder into his nuts, which is always awesome, because there's always a nut shot in a ladder match. I don't know what the connection is, but whatever. Then he props up the ladder against the corner, and Anderson reverses and leg sweeps him into it. Body slam to Anderson. Leap the ladder leg drop. Misses. The leap the ladder leg drop is basically where Hardy is standing on a turnbuckle, pushes himself up and over a ladder, and basically tries to do a leg drop on the guy, like he usually did successfully in the WWE, but whatever. Anderson climbs, Hardy climbs, they brawl at the top for a little bit, and Hardy pulls off a really decent looking sunset flip over the top of the ladder and brings Anderson down for a powerbomb. Hardy then sets up his ladder, or no, it wasn't his ladder, it was one of the black ladders, in the V formation, so basically head down, upside down, and leans it up against the ropes and just kind of leaves it there. But then he tosses Anderson out and doesn't really do anything with it, and takes Anderson up against the rail, and then he goes to get his ladder, the big painted neon ladder and so forth, and tries to just throw it at Anderson. Anderson catches it, throws it back in his face. Hardy then sets up these steps and lays Anderson across the guardrail and pulls off the Poetry in Motion. For those of you that do not watch WWE, the Poetry in Motion was a move that the Hardy Boys used to do, where Matt Hardy would sort of crouch down, Jeff Hardy would jump off his back and basically sort of hit the person in the corner with a leg lariat, leg clothesline type of maneuver. Well, Hardy just used the steps in lieu of his brother and launched Anderson right over the guardrail into the crowd. Oh yes. Then back in the ring, they trade suplex attempts, and Anderson suplexes Hardy into the V of the ladder, except they botch it hard and they just kind of knock the ladder over, and the only thing that hits the ladder is Hardy's foot. So points off for a botch. Oh yes. My clipboard is not agreeing with me right now. That's okay. Can I get it? Absolutely not. Anderson climbs, Hardy pulls him off into a twist of hate. Hardy goes out once again to get his ladder. Anderson hits the Green Bay plunge onto that flattened ladder and leaves Hardy on, lying across it. Goes for his version of the Swanton Bomb. I don't know what TNA is calling it, but when he was Mr. Kennedy in WWE, they just called it the Kenton Bomb. So I guess we'll call it the Anton Bomb. And whatever we're going to call it, he misses it. He racks his head across the ladder. And of course, Taz and TNA go nuts talking about his former concussion and da-da-da-da-da. And Hardy sets up two ladders in the ring. Nobody really knows why. He climbs up one. Anderson follows by climbing the other one. They trade punches at the top for a long time, and Hardy is about to get the belt. Anderson just takes it and swings it away, which makes sense. There's a lot of rope between where the rope is and the ceiling, so you give it a good swing, you're going to get it out of anybody's reach. And I'm thinking that the end was another botch, because they both fall, but Hardy tried to grab the belt. So I think what they wanted to do was to have them both fall and have Hardy just fall down with the belt in his hand. That didn't happen, for whatever reason, if that's what they were trying to do, because they both fall off the ladder, and Hardy just kind of tosses Anderson out of the ring, climbs back up and gets the belt. And so Jeff Hardy has the win. I'm happy because I'm not happy because of any of the Immortal crap or any of the storyline shit in TNA. I'm happy because it makes sense in the sense of history and the sense of Jeff Hardy's association with ladder matches. It makes sense that way. If Anderson had won, it would have been great. The good guy would have won, and a lot of people would have cheered. But it would have been less true. So it would have been less. I don't know if you want to use the word accurate in wrestling, but it would have been less accurate. It would not pay any tribute to what we've seen before in the past from ladder matches in general and of Jeff Hardy in ladder matches. Now, I'm going to put in one more plug for Jeff Hardy, because I can. Hardy's been in enough of these ladder matches to know how to sell at the end. When Hardy's done a ladder match, when he's won, when he's lost, when he's, been the third guy in the ring that didn't really do anything, he knows how to sell his injuries, because he absolutely ragdolls and limps himself around after he's won the match. He's sort of got this, I'm really ecstatic that I won, but I can barely stand right now, so yeah. And he even struggles, he does his big thing for the ladies, rip the shirt off, and everybody screams, whatever, and he even struggles to get his shirt off, and he kind of, instead of just climbing the turnbuckle, he sort of leans his ladder against the turnbuckle, and sort of perches himself up on that, and it really sells the fact that he just had the shit kicked out of him with multiple metal ladders and another human being. Selling. It's good. This match made sense. The pay-per-view as a whole, the 6-man I knew was going to be shit. I knew I wasn't going to like it. The Bubba Ray and Devon match I knew was going to be shit. I knew I wasn't going to like it. The X Division surprised me. The right guy won. That was cool. The Divas match I was disappointed with. I thought that could have been good. Anderson and Jarrett Angle and Jarrett was Angle being good, which I expected. And this Matt Hardy and RVD's match was a hell of a lot better than I thought it was, and this match was a hell of a lot better than I expected, even though I knew it was going to be good. So overall, awesome show. I don't care if everybody thinks that I oversell TNA. I've spent the bulk of the last 2 months talking about WWE. TNA deserves a little bit of fair shot and fair time, and some recognition in amongst the WrestleMania hype. That's about all I've got. I've been Spaz. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys probably very soon, either with more WrestleMania stuff or to talk about the Elimination Chamber. Bye, guys.